Hey, what is going on, guys? We are back. Gonna do another predictions video for week 2 of the NFL season. Now I'll talk about week 1 another video. I'm on actually very limited time right now. It is actually 12:30 p.m. On Thursday. So the Jets and the Bills play in like 7-8 hours or something like that, and I have like very limited time to get that video up. So we're gonna go straight into it. Going to Microsoft Edge here, and here we go. We're on week 2 here, and the first game up. We're gonna talk about all the week 1 stuff. We'll talk about that in week 3. We'll make like a whole recap stuff in week 3. But anyways, here we go. First game of the week is Jets Bills, and now this is a crazy matchup. They're both 0-1, and they're in a Brady-less division right now, with Jimmy Garoppolo, the starting quarterback, who, by the way, played superb as a backup QB. As Jimmy Garoppolo led the Patriots to that victory against the Cardinals. But as far as this game, it is a must-win game for either team. Because neither team wants to start 0-2, and both teams need to have a win because they're playing without Tom Brady right now in that division. So because of that, I feel like the Jets are going to win this one. 2 weeks in a row, I think the Jets are going to go 2-0. Of course, they're going to probably end up going 1-1 now. Next up, we got the 49ers and the Panthers. Now, believe it or not, the 49ers have a better record than the Panthers. That is very surprising. You could see how they're doing in the rush game. Carlos Hyde had a terrific game against the Rams defense. That Rams front seven, that is always dominant. And for some reason, against the 49ers O-line, they destroyed them. And the Panthers, as you can see, they also had a really good rushing game when they played the Broncos. You have Cam Newton, of course, who took a lot of hits week 1, though. We don't know if he's going to be 100%. He might always be lying. And it says the defense is ranked 2nd in the NFL. But again, they played the Rams, which really doesn't help. You got the Carolina Panthers that just came out a 15-1 season. So, honestly, there's no chance, and especially at home, the Panthers have to win this game. There's no way that the Panthers are not going to blow this game. So I'm going to go with the Panthers beating the 49ers. 49ers are going to go back to the way they used to look. Next, we have a division matchup of the Cowboys and the Redskins. And if I could just say, I want both teams to lose, honestly. Like, I don't want either one of these teams to win. Because I hate them both. I don't really hate the Redskins, but I hate the Cowboys more. But when it comes to this situation here, honestly, I don't know who I really want to win here. You have Josh Norman on the Redskins. You have Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott on the Cowboys. Now, they did look pretty bad, but it's against the Giants defense in week 1 that was $200 million better. So, on one hand, I want the Redskins to win this because I hate the Cowboys. But honestly, I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys could win this because I don't know. Go ahead and pick the Cowboys to win this one. I feel like Ezekiel Elliott is going to definitely perform much better. And Dak Prescott is still going to perform like he has always. And as long as Des Bryant and Josh Norman aren't covering each other, or not each other, Des Bryant goes to the other side of the field, maybe he's going to make plays. We got another division matchup here with the Bengals and the Steelers. Now, this is weird because they look at these games like that they've played each other. This one was a super close game. We all know about this playoff game. That one was another super close game right there. But if you just look at like the comparisons, like they barely got out of that win against the Jets in week 1. The Steelers have too much firepower on the offense. And when they stay healthy, they're probably the best team in the league. So because of that, I'm going to say the Steelers are going to win over the Bengals. Next up, we have the Giants against the Saints. Now look at the last time they played. If you remember that game, 52-49. That was a huge game. Eli threw for 6 touchdowns. Drew Brees threw for 7. Odell had 3. And that was just a huge game. Different year, though. Both defenses sucked last year. This year, you can see defense has improved. I mean, this is only 1 week rankings. But the Saints, they didn't change much on defense. The Giants changed so much on defense. I mean, we saw what Drew Brees did against the Raiders last week. He just kept throwing bombs. Brandon Cooks had like 180 yards or something like that, and Willie Snead had like another 150 or whatever, and that was just ridiculous. But the Giants also have 3 powerful wide receivers. Their O-line, clearly, if you saw the Giants game in week 1, their O-line really worked. They really improved, and they got a running game going now, which is good because the Giants never had a running game going, ever. So, obviously, because I'm a Giants fan, I'm going to go Giants over Saints, without a doubt. Next, we have another division matchup between the Patriots and the Dolphins. And the last time they played, you can see the Dolphins won, but that was because that was towards the final. That was the last game of the week, and last game of the season. Patriots already clinched first round bye. Dolphins are playing for nothing. So, like, Bill Belichick put in a whole bunch of backups towards the end of the fourth quarter, and they didn't even go for a game-winning drive. They took the L, and yeah. But if you look at these differences, like when the Dolphins played the Seahawks, Kenny Stills, man, how do you drop that pass? I don't hate the Seahawks, I don't hate the Dolphins, but come on, how do you drop that pass? That was ridiculous. He blew the game for them. That would have been a totally different game if Kenny Stills did not drop that pass. And then as for the Patriots, Jimmy Garoppolo looks really good. You can see right now they are all around. They're not terrible, but they're not the best. But they're certainly doing better than what the Dolphins did. And the fact that they lost to, like, half of Russell Wilson, too, because Russell Wilson got injured during the game if you didn't know. He, like Ndamukong Suh, like, did something with his ankle. He didn't step on it. He didn't do what he did to Aaron Rodgers, but, like, during a tackle, he, like, hit his leg, and, like, it limited Russell Wilson's movement a lot. And they still got the job done. The Seahawks still won that game. And therefore, like, I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to win this. And I think the Patriots are actually going to take it. And they're going to go 2-0, Brady-less. Next, we have another, right? No, this is not. Next up, we have a rematch of the wild card playoffs last year. Chiefs-Texans. If you remember this wild card playoff game, it was a disaster. They had to make J.J. Watt, like, the running back for one play, and he didn't even rush for a yard. Like, you'd think J.J. Watt would rush for, like, a few yards as a running back. He got 0 yards. I think he got -1 yards, as a matter of fact. And the Chiefs won that game 35-0. However, J.J. Watt's back. He's with a vengeance. And he probably wants to win the game. But with the way the Chiefs performed, they made that incredible comeback last week that I don't think anything is going to be stopping them this week. And therefore, I think the Chiefs will take this one. Next up, we have Titans versus Lions. And, oh my God, if you look at these last matchups they had, it's been a while, but they were very high scoring matchups. So that's pretty crazy. But that probably still going to stand now that I think about it. I mean, you saw the Lions. They scored a lot of points against that Colts defense. However, the Colts defense didn't have Vontae Davis. They had Antonio Cromartie instead, who gave up more completions than he had kids. Sorry about that. Had to say that. But you have Tennessee Titans, who, when they played against the Vikings last week, they did okay. But I mean, they held in there. But that was the backup QB. Then again, you can say Sean Hill is a veteran quarterback. However, in this matchup, I am going to pick the Lions over the Titans because they're at home, and it's also going to be a very high-scoring game. The final 1 o'clock game of the week is Browns-Ravens, another division matchup. This matchup, I mean, the Ravens were first in defense last week. Who did they play last week? They played the Bills last week. And yeah, I guess the Bills weren't. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know how they were ranked first in defense last week. That's whatever. Um, and the Browns, they just suck. They lost. They RG3 got injured already. It's week 1. We're week 2 now, and that's just stupid. And like, I mean, both these teams, they're just not good anymore. I mean, the Ravens used to be good, now they're not, and Browns are just the Browns, so I'm going to go with the Ravens over this one. Next, we have a division matchup for the 4 o'clock game of Seahawks and LA Rams. Now, look at this. The last 2 times they played last year, they won. It's really weird. The Rams, for some reason, just, like, I think it was of the last 4 games. It's not going to show you this one, the 4th one, but I think they've won 3 of the last 4 of the Rams. It's weird how that happens. Like, you look at the Seahawks, they're a much better team, but yet the Rams just beat the Seahawks. I don't know how that happens. So, I mean, by logic, you should go the Rams, but I feel like the Seahawks are not going to let that happen this week. Again, they're not going to lose 3 in a row to the Rams. And with Russell Wilson down, well, down but not out, I'm going to choose that the defense is going to turn up a lot. Like, they're going to go into another gear, and they're going to take a major defensive victory over the Rams. Next, we have Buccaneers-Cardinals. Now, if you looked at this matchup last year, you'd think, oh, they're easily going to take this on the Cardinals. But this is a different year. Jameis Winston, everyone's already saying that he's, like, the best in the league already. And I'm just like, it's been 1 week, relax. And Charles Sims had a huge performance, and Matt Forte had a huge performance, and Mike Evans, they all had a huge performance last week, the Buccaneers. Like, the whole team all around. And the Cardinals, they just didn't. Like, it was weird. They did terrible against a backup QB, one could say. But like, there's an argument about Jimmy Garoppolo, whether he's a backup QB or Brady's backup. There's a difference. But in the end of this, I feel like the Cardinals are going to go back to the way they were last year, and they're going to take a win over the Buccaneers. Next, we got the Jaguars against the Chargers. Now, the Jaguars were the worst team in the rushing last week. That's pretty crazy. And the Chargers were third. Now, they had Melvin Gordon rush for 2 TDs. He has 2 TDs more than he did last year already. Because he didn't rush for any last year. He barely played last year, Melvin Gordon. Danny Woodhead is going to be the leading receiver again, because Keenan Allen, I'm pretty sure, is out for the season. I don't think they announced he's out for the season yet, but he has an ACL tear again. Or not again. He has an ACL tear. But Blake Bortles has that high-powered offense. Phillip Rivers also just doesn't stop throwing the ball because he doesn't have a run game. But in the end, I'm going to pick the Jaguars winning this one over the Chargers. Next up, we got the Falcons at the Raiders. And the Raiders are the team with the big balls this season, going for 2 on a very risky play. They are ranked a very low defense because of Drew Brees throwing a lot of yards. But we saw what Matt Ryan was not capable of last week against the Buccaneers. So for that, and if you look at the offensive ranks too, I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one. The Raiders will go 2-0 against the Falcons. Next up, we have the Colts against the Broncos. Now look at this. If you remember last year's game, if you remember the return, Andrew Luck playing Peyton Manning, if you remember that game, and that was a crazy game, and Andrew Luck came out on top in that one, despite what everyone was saying about the Broncos defense at the time and all that stuff. This is going to be a good game, though. I mean, last week we saw Andrew Luck made a stellar performance in the second half. He did amazing. And Trevor Siemian, however you want to say his name, just, he had to run the ball the whole time. You could see the rushing game here. He isn't the best quarterback. Andrew Luck is still said to be an elite quarterback. Everyone's saying he had a down year last year. He was injured half the year, so he really couldn't play with a lacerated kidney. And now, like, the Broncos' O-line, I'm pretty sure they made a lot of moves. I'm not really sure. They lost a lot of moves. They made moves. I don't know. But in the end here, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick the Broncos with this pick. Now we have our Sunday night football game, and it's the Packers against the Vikings, another division matchup. And this is a completely different. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick the Packers with this one. It's a division matchup. They're both really close, so it doesn't really matter who the home team is. The Vikings don't have the best quarterback. And the Packers have Aaron Rodgers, and they have Jordy Nelson, and they have not the worst defense, but they have a defense also. And finally, the Monday Night Football game is the Eagles versus the Bears. Now, last time they played, that was a while ago. And look at this matchup, back in 2013. These are two completely different teams now. But if you look at this, Carson Wentz had a really good week one. And Jay Cutler is the worst QB in the league. So, I'm going to go with the Eagles beating the Bears in this matchup for Monday Night Football. That is it. Those are all the games for week 2 of the season. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, if you don't know, Color Rush is every Thursday now. All the color jerseys got revealed. I really want to cop a Giants one, but all they have is Eli and Odell, and I already have an Odell jersey, so I don't want to get another Odell jersey. That's stupid. And Eli Manning's too obvious. Like, everyone gets Eli Manning jerseys. Everyone gets Odell jerseys. Let me get something different, you know? But anyways, that's going to end this predictions video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in week 3.